Something huge is happening behind closed doors. While Europe's leaders scramble to maintain stability, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin have allegedly struck a historic peace deal, one that could reshape the global power balance forever. But here's the real bombshell. Europe wasn't even invited to the table. Imagine this. The two most powerful and controversial leaders of our time, a US president returning to power, and a Russian leader feared across the West, making a deal. No NATO. No European Union. No warning. So the big questions are: why was Europe excluded? What is in this secret peace agreement? And what could this mean for the future of global politics? Before we break down this game-changing agreement, make sure to like this video to spread awareness. Subscribe for more breaking updates. Comment below, is this deal a betrayal? Or a genius move? Because what we're about to reveal could change everything. Leaked details of Trump and Putin's secret deal. According to leaked reports, this mystery deal includes a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine, but under terms that strongly favor Putin. The withdrawal of US military support for NATO in Eastern Europe, a move that could leave Poland, the Baltics, and even Germany vulnerable. A shift in the global balance of power, where the US and Russia dictate peace, while the EU is completely sidelined. A shocking military and economic agreement, one that could reshape global trade and energy markets forever. But here's the real kicker. Europe wasn't just left out of the negotiations. They were intentionally cut off. A high-level insider from the European Parliament has claimed that Trump and Putin deliberately kept EU leaders in the dark because they wanted to negotiate a deal that benefits only the US and Russia. So here's the big question. Is Trump completely abandoning Europe? And if so, what does this mean for NATO, the EU, and the future of Western power? Europe's worst nightmare is becoming reality. Let's be clear. If this Trump-Putin deal becomes reality, the European Union could face its biggest crisis since World War II. Here's what could happen next. Russia's unchecked aggression, with Trump pulling back US military support. NATO forces in Eastern Europe could be dangerously weakened. What happens if Putin sees this as a green light to expand his influence even further? Energy blackmail. Europe still depends on Russian oil and gas. If Trump allows Putin to dominate energy markets, could Russia start using energy as a weapon to control Europe? A fractured Western alliance. If Trump and Putin are calling the shots, where does that leave France, Germany, and the UK? Without US backing, could NATO even survive? One European diplomat reportedly told journalists, if Trump moves forward with this deal, it would be the biggest betrayal of Europe in modern history. And here's where it gets even scarier. Some intelligence sources believe that Trump is using this agreement as leverage, forcing Europe to choose between following his lead or risking complete isolation. Could this be the end of European dominance in global politics? What the deep state and media won't tell you. Mainstream media is desperate to downplay this story. While CNN and the New York Times focus on Trump's latest controversial comments, they are completely ignoring this seismic shift in world power. Why? Because if this deal is real, it proves that the US and Russia can reshape global affairs. Without NATO, Europe's influence is fading fast. The old world order is crumbling, and a new one is rising. And Washington insiders are panicking. Leaked White House memos suggest that US intelligence agencies are working to sabotage the deal, warning that Trump's foreign policy could destabilize Western security. Translation: the deep state doesn't want Trump making peace with Putin, because they want to keep the war going. But here's the million-dollar question. If Trump is ignoring NATO and working directly with Putin, who's really in control? And what happens if Europe refuses to comply? Could this lead to a European backlash? This Trump-Putin deal isn't just shaking up global alliances. It's forcing European leaders to make a choice. Two possible scenarios are emerging. 1. Europe bows to the new Trump-Putin alliance, accepting a weaker role on the world stage, and adjusting to a US-Russia-dominated world. 2. Europe fights back, attempting to block Trump's policies, increasing defense spending, and even creating a new military alliance independent of the US. But here's the catch. If Europe chooses to resist, that could mean a financial and trade war between the US and the EU. A new arms race, forcing European nations to develop stronger militaries. A complete breakdown of NATO, leaving countries like Poland and Estonia defenseless against Russia. Are we witnessing the beginning of a new Cold War? But this time between the US and Europe? And if so, who's really in danger here? Is it already too late for Europe? If Trump and Putin have already made their deal, is there anything Europe can do to stop it? Some analysts say it's already over. That Europe has been outmaneuvered and outplayed before they even knew what was happening. But others warn Europe still has one last move left. Could European leaders secretly team up with China to counter Trump's influence? Could NATO attempt to remove Trump before this deal takes effect? Could this trigger a major economic collapse in the West? One thing is clear: the world is changing faster than anyone expected. And if this Trump-Putin alliance is real, the consequences could be greater than anyone imagined. Final call to action: this isn't just about politics. This is about the global power structure shifting before our very eyes. So the big question is, what can you do? Like this video to help expose the truth. Comment below, should Europe trust Trump's deal? Or prepare for the worst? Subscribe for breaking updates, because the next few weeks could change everything. This is just the beginning. And the next leak could change history. Rocket, fire.